It's like basically driving around on roller skates. It's a very tricky situation. Santiago dos Santos and Joe Smith will go from the front row of the grid for this one. Morgan Moore alongside Harry Bartle, and then Jensen Graham and Zach Green from Aston Sharp and Elia Weiss, Javier Prohaska and Eden Spanswick from Harrison Mackie, Daniel Dalakian, Julian Savilo, Wouter Bugigno, Isaac Shea and Travis Teo.
Then we have Toby Gale and Alexander Dahlstrom, followed by Tige Tefi and Kono Clancy, Afonso Azevedo and Scott Rayleigh, Elvis Krasuzkas and Bertram Sach, Bernardo Pinto and Zarif Farudin, Adam Holmes and Jean-Paul Carras. Then we have Katrina A running up the top 29 here that we have on the grid. We have 29 drivers on track as well. We're missing 2 drivers, unfortunately.
Yeah, looks like one of them is stuck in the pit lane already.
Yeah, indeed. And
oh well, Connor Clancy, of course, is no longer participating in the event, but TJ Taff is sat there at the edge of the pit. So big problems there for the Irishman, the privateer, who's not able to get going initially, but looks like he might be able to join up at the end of the first formation lap at least, and will join in at the back of the grid. Now, if he's able to work his way through at the tail end of the field, as long as he gets back into his original grid position before the red line, he should be able to take up his original grid position. So it's a bit of a stressful start for the Irishman, TJ Taff. It's not quite the way he wanted to do it. He's been let out onto the circuit right into the path of 2 or 3 other karts there, so he's okay. He's not really held anybody up, but of course that does give him a little bit of a chance to get back into his original grid slot. Yeah, for those who are wondering where Connor Clancy is, unfortunately, he is not participating in the rest of the event after he had a post-race exclusion at the end of the first heat, and that has sadly disqualified him from the weekend. Fortunately, though, Connor Clancy is the kind of driver who will learn from that, and he will be back in 2024 with a much stronger and faster attitude. So Santiago dos Santos and Joe Smith, front row of the grid for Parolin Portugal versus Victory Lane Karting. And in the junior category so far, it's been one-way traffic for Freddie Lloyd, who has done a fantastic job so far this weekend. He got 2 races yesterday and won them both. Romeo Roussel and Cathal Clark have 4 points apiece. Fred Green has 5, as does Ty Buckley, Joe Smith and Sasha Van Bosch, and Raoul van Tharen has 7 points. So it's very competitive behind Freddie Lloyd, but Freddie is hoping to keep the dominant streak going as he comes into yet another fantastic battle. And when you consider that this has been a year, his first year in Europe, and he's already won the Junior Miami Euro Series, Freddie Lloyd very much following in the footsteps of his older brother Alex, who was so strong in his Miami X30 career, was the vice champion of the world, of course, Alex Lloyd, and Freddie is hoping to get the job done here this week in the junior category. Off the final turn, into the 2 tram lines, Dos Santos versus Smith. Are we racing? Yes, we are. Perfect start, and off we go. Good positioning from Morgan Moore, who gets himself into 2nd position with help from Zach Green as they continue to charge their way further forward. Moore goes for the move on the inside of Dos Santos to try and take the lead, and he goes up over the top of him. Somehow he manages to land it, and they still carry on. Moore somehow holds 2nd position still. An amazing first couple of corners from Morgan Moore. He goes for it, gets it wrong, backs down, comes back from it, and Morgan Moore is able to live to fight another day. He gets another shot at Dos Santos. How much more can Morgan Moore endure on the opening lap?
Yeah, how on earth did he manage to stay on the track after what just happened? Another driver clicking, another one at the back, but luckily no harm done, as we're able to get going for that 7-lap race. This will be the same length of action for the next 2 races as well in the junior class, but a pretty decent opening lap for everybody. A bit of a tussle, but so far so good for Santiago Alves. He felt a little bit of a push for Morgan Moore just further back. Let's not forget that Morgan Moore lost a win, unfortunately, due to a post-race penalty. As Santiago Alves going wide, unfortunately. We talked about that last corner and the need to pay attention to your line, but there was a bit of a mistake from the leader, and it allows Morgan Moore to commit maybe to a move on the inside. Yes, indeed, the door was open, and he takes with him Barton and Harrison Mackie.
Yeah, it's all about momentum, and once you lose that in the final bend, it was inevitable that he was going to lose at least 1 place. He actually loses 3, so Moore gets through, Bartle in a 2nd, Mackie 3rd, Dos Santos down to 4th, then Sharp, Graham Smith, and there's a problem. That's one of the Victory Lane karts. It's Elia Weiss. So the German driver, Elia Weiss, unfortunately out of the race there as he's beached on the hairpin. So very unfortunate for Elia Weiss.
Another driver is involved. So
yeah, there's 2 karts down there, in fact.
Yeah.
The second one is Isaac Shea. So Isaac Shea, the Singaporean for Kiddish. Up the inside, though. Morgan Moore is not going to hold on to this lead for long, because here comes Harrison Mackie. Diving through of the inside line, the 24 coming through to the lead. Where's Morgan Moore gone? Dos Santos is there in 2nd place. Morgan Moore has disappeared from the front of the fray.
It's P6 all the way down by the look of it, so disastrous, unfortunately, for Morgan Moore. He's dropping places after places as the entire field is back on him. Let's see where he is now, P6 even more so. Unfortunately for him, he's all the way down to P7 from Broska, between Smith and Broska, by the look of it. But the two leaders, Harrison Mackie and Santiago Alves, in the meantime, were able to shake up the order and put almost a second between themselves and Ashton Sharp in P3. So that might go down between those two for the win into that class. Time is running out already. But Harrison Mackie is your new leader. Santiago Alves is still rigorously into this race after the contact and the mistake that he made into turn number 17 into the opening lap.
Oh, that is Isaac Sayer. So that was the kart that ended up having the spin earlier on with Elia Weiss. Weiss is retired from the race, so too was Isaac Sayer. And we've had a spinner as well on that last lap. That was Katrina E, the Malaysian driver. She spun the kart, unfortunately, up at turn 3 as well, and has managed to get going again, fortunately. Mackie leading the way from Dos Santos. I just wonder with Morgan Moore, was there a little residual damage to the kart as a result of going over the top of the right rear quarter of Dos Santos? Might just be able to nurse that home to the finish with 4 laps to go, as long as he gets good momentum from the drivers around him. But certainly not where he wanted to be at all, as we now got Mackie and Dos Santos having a great duel for the victory. Third place is Aston Sharp for the Mick Barrett Racing team. He's worked his way forward into third. And then we've got Bartle in front of Zach Green, Moore, Spanswick, Jensen, Graham and Toby Gale, the tyre driver for Crop Promotion, doing a great job.
And now Zach Green picking up the fastest lap in the race and getting ahead of both Sharp and Morgan Moore into P4. As we keep on following the battles. There's 2 battles pretty much in the same picture between Bartle and Green. As you can see now, almost 3 drivers involved, as Santiago Alves, Portugal's best chance of winning on home soil this weekend, certainly, if you can shake up Harrison Mackie just a little bit. As we follow here the number 9 further back, Zach Green indeed, the fastest on track, hassling Harry Battle for P3.
Scott Riley deserves a heck of a lot of credit as well. He's up 13 places now, up into 9th position. Great run from Scott Riley, the Irishman for the Odrin Henry Racing team. Now starting to make big inroads as across the line. That's Zach Green sat behind Bartle. They want to charge after these two because Mackie and Dos Santos have this race pretty much in their hands at the moment. Mackie trying to hold on in front of the Portuguese talent, but watch for Bartle and Green. They're going to work together to try and charge after the leading duo. And then you've got Sharp in 5th position now. Morgan Moore's got support from Jensen Graham, so they want to work their way further forward as well. Fortunately, rain is not going to interrupt play in this one. It's certainly not going to spoil the playbook either. As they come off the turn, Green the fastest man on a 61.372 lap. And you still get the sense that Bartle and Green are going to have to work very hard to catch up to these two. There's 3 laps to go, including this one, so there is time and there is opportunity. Well, Santos will want to pick his moment on Mackie. Mackie just holding the middle of the road, but this is definitely giving Bartle and Green a little bit of a hurry up. They have a real chance now to make this work out in their favour. So Mackie, Dos Santos, Bartle, Green, Sharp, Moore, Graham, Gale, Spanswick, Riley. It's going to be a very tough run for them. 2 laps to go. Can Dos Santos turn the tables on Mackie?
And Harrison Mackie again was going slightly wide outside of turn number 16 on that curb. Watch out not to do the same mistake as Santiago Alves has done into the opening lap. Picking up on Zach Green, he wasn't particularly happy about Harry Battle going defensive. Those two, as you said, need to work together. But Zach Green was one of the fastest on track, slightly faster than Harry Battle. As now it goes to Jensen Graham from P6, trying to get close to Aston Sharp, still missing 0.8 of a second to do so. Watch out, Santiago Alves, he was trying to make his mitt. Oh, the number 19, unfortunately, having to retire by the look of it. And this is Travis Teo, unfortunately, from Parol in Portugal, one of the teammates of Santiago Alves. And this will mean DNF for the driver who was down in P17, unfortunately. Back with the leaders, Harrison Mackie trying to shake off Santiago Alves, waiting for the good moment. He has the momentum with him. Could this happen into the last sector of the track? Here we go for the last lap, ladies and gents. Harrison Mackie and Santiago Alves as the driver that we saw just before.
Travis Teo.
Yeah, Travis Teo that we just seen with the marshals. Here we go. The first attack certainly for Santiago Alves, not quite able to make his commitment on the inside.
Stay hungry, Harry. You've got a chance here in 3rd position. He does take the time on the inside at a 2nd position. He doesn't wait around for it. And Harry Bartle makes the big jump into 2nd position, dives through onto Santos, who finally loses the traction on Harrison Mackie. Now Zach Green's got a chance to get into 3rd position, and he knows on the JGR he has an opportunity to make it happen. Here he goes. Defensive driving from Bartle to hold on a 2nd in front of Dos Santos and Green, but Green wants to get the move on Dos Santos. As they come off the turn, down the right-hander, dropping down the crest. Looks good for Harrison Mackie. Bartle is close, but not close enough at the moment. Trying to go the long way round. Can Green find the move? He can't there. It's a nice effort, but Dos Santos is going to hold it nicely into the line. I think this is going to be Harrison Mackie, one-way traffic. He'll come out of the final couple of corners, charge up the hill and dive across. Harrison Mackie will take the victory in fantastic fashion ahead of Harry Bartle. Third for Dos Santos, fourth for Green, just fifth position for Sharp in front of Jensen Graham. Excellent racing all the way to the flag and a fabulous run from Harrison Mackie. Really had to work for that one. It was not easy to keep Dos Santos at bay for as long as he had. Fortunately, he had Bartle to come through and take the position. So a fabulous performance, and so far so good for Harrison Mackie. That really helps his point score, gets him further towards the top 8 again. He had problems yesterday, don't forget. So this is a perfect way to rejuvenate.
Perfect way to rejuvenate indeed for Harrison Mackie. Harry Bartle for just 1 little tenth of a second, and Santiago Alves thought at some point that he could maybe go for the move, but Harry Bartle was there first to go for P2, so the Paralympic Portugal driver is going to have to make do with P3's best result so far. Santiago Alves, who comes back from what has been a very eventful race in the early stages after his early contact with Morgan Moore, finishing all the way down to P6, and a little bit of a mistake that at some point we thought could put him in jeopardy, but he was able to hold on and fight for the win all the way through. Harrison Mackie was able to take that win in the end from Harry Bartle. Santiago Alves done in P3 from Zach Green, Ashton Sharp, Jenson Graham, Morgan Moore, P7 in the end from Scott Rayleigh, 14 places gained up to P8 from Toby Gale, 8 places gained up to P9 from Eden Spanswick, Daniel Dalakian, Joseph Smith, Javier Borska, Kazauskas and Adam Olmes in P15. Just outside P16 we have Arthur Berganu from Bertram Satch, Giuliano Sorvillo, then Alexander Dahlstrom, Parudin. We have as well Caras, TG Tafe, Bernardo Pinto, Alfonso Azevedo, as well as Wing running up the top 25. Travis Teo, Isaac Sea, Elia Weiss, unfortunately not able to see